Appalachian Arcana.
Hello, hello, and welcome to Appalachian Arcana, the podcast where we bring you tales of the strange and unusual from Appalachia. I'm Cam Collins, and this is my co-host, Sarah Falk.
Hi, everyone. Good evening. Elder Brew, thank you again for hosting us.
Boy, thank you so much, as always.
Yes, it is wonderful to see you all here. What a great crowd.
It's amazing to have you guys come out on such a cold night.
Oh, I know. At this moment, I've got my pea coat draped over my knees. I'm in a sweater, a warm pants, semi-warm shoes, and I've got the coat just draped over, trying to stay warm. Boy, it is a nippy night.
It is, but it's January. What can we expect?
Exactly. So yes, glad to have everyone. I think we weathered our wave of sickness. Stomach bugs, every bug you could ever imagine, every virus just crept up on us in this winter splendor that we're speaking of. So here we are, alive and well. And
just, 2 weeks after when we should have been recording this episode, but whatever. It's fine. It's just fine.
It's all good. Feeling good tonight. So Kim and I were always trying to bring some really interesting things to you, and we were sitting on my couch at the house and just doing a little bit of research, trying to figure out what we were going to bring to the January episode.
And given the dreary weather, we really wanted to bring you something fun, not too serious, so we settled on the Flatwoods Monster.
We did indeed. We had our mind set on cryptomania. See, it doesn't have the same ring to it as cryptomania. But yeah, we wanted to bring something fun to you all tonight. And so Cam says, I think we've got it.
Got to do a cryptid.
We absolutely had to. And she showed me. I was like, whoa, that is the most outlandish looking little thing I've ever seen in my life. We're doing it. So here we go. We're taking you 3.5 hours northeast. We're going up 81, 77 north, and 19 north to Flatwoods, a tiny town in the mountains of West Virginia, with a population hovering around 300. It's also home to the creature known as the Flatwoods Monster, also known as the Braxton County Monster, the Phantom of Flatwoods, or simply the Green Monster.
And the Green Monster seems to be the description kind of preferred by the town.
Yeah.
If you go to Flatwoods, there's the, welcome to the town sign. Instead of just saying welcome to Flatwoods, says, welcome to Flatwoods, home of the Green Monster. So the Green Monster, or the Flatwoods Monster, is reported to be about 10 feet tall and 4 feet wide. According to witnesses, it appeared to be in some sort of robotic suit or spacecraft rather than a fully organic being. So, I mean, it's like kind of a semi-Dalek or something like that.
That's exactly what I was thinking of.
It's supposed to have a cowl in the shape of an ace of spades behind a round red head.
Why couldn't it be shaped like a heart? I'm a little disappointed.
I don't know, baby. Maybe it is an upside down heart, sort of, kind of.
Yeah, we'll go with that.
We'll go with that.
Yeah.
It has 2 glowing green-orange eyes, reportedly the size of $50.
Ooh.
And as we said, the body of it was kind of a robotic suit. It was described as a metallic armored structure lined with thick vertical pipes.
It had plumbing.
It has plumbing.
Plumbing.
Discrepancies. There are a lot of discrepancies in the differences of, what the armor or, robot suit or whatever looks like. Some say it's black, some say it's green, whatever. And its arms are kind of similarly debated. Some stories claim that the Flatwoods monster, the green monster, didn't have any arms, while others say it possessed small toy-like arms with long claws. So I'm like totally imagining like little T-Rex arms.
Yes.
This thing with little T-Rex arms.
It needs a gripper from the As Seen on TV store.
Yeah, exactly.
So we're going to take you to the first sighting of this purported creature. It's the evening of September 12th, 1952. Two brothers, Edward and Fred May, 13 years of age and 10 respectively, and their friend Tommy Heyer, they saw a bright object streak across the sky and land on property of a local farmer. So they went to the Mays home, told their mother Kathleen everything that happened. Like, we saw this weird, freaky light just streaking across the mountain, and you might want to check this out with us.
Like, Mom, what is going on?
Exactly. So Kathleen, the three boys, so they bring in two other local kids into this madness, and
and that's, I mean, it's like, why do you bring two other children into this? It's a little confusing, but whatever. Yeah, it's like, hey, other local kids, come on.
Yeah, it's like stranger danger. They might be buddies. We don't know.
I'm sure they were, but still, it's just like, wow, irresponsible parenting abounds.
Exactly. Oh, look here. We've got a 17-year-old West Virginia National Guardsman, Eugene Lemon. He comes along with them, brings his collie. Oh, I love a good dog story, everybody. So they basically trespassed onto this farm, trying to find this object that they had seen. So the group reaches the top of the hill. It sounds like they jumped over a big old fence to get there, too. And they see this big pulsing red light. So Guardsman Lemon, he aims his flashlight in that direction. He sees it's a tall, man-like figure with a round, red face surrounded by a pointed, hood-like shape around it. I mean, we've got various descriptions.
From the witnesses, like they kind of have slightly different stories, but
so many. A lot of them kind of bring us to the same descriptor of that ace of spades.
The hooded face. Yeah,
it's so strange. And there's an article for Fate magazine based on tape-recorded interviews by UFO writer Gray Barker. He describes this figure as approximately 10 feet, the round, blood-red face, large, pointed, hood-like shape around said face, eye-like shapes emitting their greenish-orange light in a dark black or green body. And, of course, Kathleen, she chimes in with those little T-Rex claws. Give me everybody, give me the children, give me the ladies, give me the dog. Like these clothing like folds. That's interesting. Clothing like folds.
Oh, I'm not even sure what that's supposed to mean. Yeah.
Sounds like it's seen things.
Yeah, it's definitely, I mean, they saw something and it's a little strange.
And ooh, it gets even weirder. Ooh, this gets freaky. Figure starts making a hissing sound and begins gliding toward the group. Gliding.
That's how they described it, gliding.
Through
the mist.
Ooh, this freaked out Eugene Lemon. He drops his flashlight. They dart. They make a break for it. They hurtle over that fence. Trespassing's a bad idea. In this case.
Clearly it was.
Shoo, yeah. And they smelled a pungent mist. It made Eugene Lemon sick. He started vomiting. A pungent mist emitted from this creature-like thing. So they return home. Kathleen, the mother, contacts the local sheriff and news reporter A. Lee Stewart, Jr. of the Braxton Democrat.
And I mean, that's pretty interesting that she just immediately calls a reporter. Let's,
Mm-hmm.
it's interesting.
Yeah.
that she makes that choice.
I thought so too, Cam. So he conducts a number of interviews, returns to the site with the farmer later that night, where he reported that there was just this sickening, burnt, metallic odor still present. I believe one of the May brothers had described it kind of as like those old, this is way before my time, but an old tube TV, like the tubes had been burnt out.
Okay, that makes sense.
Really, really strange smell. So the sheriff and his deputy searched the area separately, but really found no trace of any encounter. So the next day, the reporter, Stewart, had claimed to discover, I'm a 13-year-old kid, Cam, skid marks
Yeah.
in the field. Oh, somebody got scared and left skid marks. And an odd gummy deposit, which were subsequently attributed by UFO enthusiast groups as evidence of a saucer landing.
So yeah, it's like we've got a couple things going on here. We've got an unidentified flying object streaking across the sky, and then this report of a creature.
Yeah, it's getting really weird.
Yeah.
UFO mania.
Well, there was a second sighting the next day. The day after the Flatwoods incident, a couple taking a leisurely drive through the mountains of Frametown, West Virginia, which was nearby, at dusk were met with a very similar experience. Their car basically, stalled out on this country road.
Oh, Lord.
And they couldn't get it to start again. And shortly thereafter, they noticed this putrid, sulfuric odor. Like similar to what the witnesses of the Flatwoods incident describe.
Yeah, interesting. Yeah, really, really strange odors coming from this thing.
And so the couple...
What does it eat?
The couple are outside their car, like kind of circling around the car, checking out the car, trying to figure out what's going on, why is our car stalled, what's the source of this weird smell, and they spot something worse than they could have imagined. It is, again, a strange creature. From the waist down, they described it as being similar to the Flatwoods monster with the armor and all of that. But from the waist up, they said it resembled a, quote, reptilian humanoid.
Explains his little T-Rex arms.
Little T-Rex arms. So, but, ultimately the creature is thought to be the same creature sighted in Flatwoods. Although, it's, again, also known as the Frametown monster. It's still, the sightings are similar enough that everybody pretty much assumes it was the same entity, whatever it is.
And in Frametown, you want to know why it has that ace of spades around its head?
Why?
It frames its face very nicely.
Oh, Sarah. Counting you to bring the dad jokes. Every time.
Every single time. Ooh, I tell you what, though, we got the Frametown monster, the Flatwoods monster.
You've got all these stories, circulating. And it doesn't take long before the national media outlets pick it up.
They do. I mean, we've got, there's a gentleman, I'm trying to think, the name is on the tip of my tongue, from Britain, I believe, did a radio interview, a cryptozoologist.
Mm-hmm.
But national newspapers and radio stations are picking this story up. Kathleen and Lemon even went to New York City to be interviewed by CBS. And fueled by the UFO speculation that had begun sweeping the nation, in April of that same year, Life magazine published a bombshell headline: "Have we visitors from space?"
Which is so amazingly grammatically correct. I'm kind of blown away by it. It's like, wow.
Yeah. Very profound.
That's devotion. That is a devotion to grammar that we should all salute. Anyway. But yeah,
I was proud of them.
It's it's the early 50s. The whole UFO craze has just begun, and it's all sort of spurred on by this Life magazine article in April of that year. And so the Flatwoods monster incident really just fits quite nicely into that whole culture.
It really does. So you've got some locals who believe in this creature and they're trying to seek it out, and others who are like, that's just, it had to be a screech owl sitting on a rotten stump. That they did not see a skirted metallic reptilian beast thing.
Beast thing, yeah.
Their imaginations are running wild. So you've got really split opinions on what was seen. Local newspaper publisher, as we mentioned a little bit earlier, A. Lee Stewart, saying those people were the most scared I have ever seen. Stewart himself, in this 1952 story, had marched up that hill with a shotgun after witnesses told what they saw. People just don't make up that kind of story that quickly, he said. Others dismissed the story as hysteria, but many were still very quick to profit from Flatwoods monster memorabilia. Of course. Opportunists everywhere.
Yeah.
So one writer who stoked the story was Gray Barker. Braxton County native, investigated this monster and became one of the more prominent UFO myth makers of all time. He wrote about Flatwoods, introduced the mythology of government men in black. I got the song Men in Black in my head now. After he heard that 2 Air Force investigators had reportedly shown up in Flatwoods posing as magazine writers.
Yeah, that's a really interesting aspect of the story, is that this is the guy who basically introduced the Men in Black concept.
Yeah.
Who's involved with the story.
It's mind-boggling.
Yeah, and the Air Force had their doubts too, although they did investigate the Flatwoods incident as part of Project Blue Book. And Project Blue Book was one of a series of studies of unidentified flying objects conducted by the United States Air Force, which collected and analyzed thousands of reports of UFO sightings, basically in the 50s and 60s. Mm-hmm. This project started in 1952, although it was the third study of its kind. The first 2 were Project Sign in 1947 and Grudge in 1949. Project Blue Book had 2 goals. 1, to determine if UFOs were a threat to national security, and 2, to scientifically analyze UFO-related data. Regarding the Flatwoods monster, Blue Book investigators obtained a number of accounts from witnesses who claimed to have experienced a similar phenomena or something related.
Yeah.
These accounts included the story of a mother and her 21-year-old daughter, who both claimed to have encountered a creature with the same appearance and odor described by the witnesses in the Flatwood incident a week before the sightings on September 12th.
Ooh.
And reportedly, this encounter affected the daughter so badly that she was confined to Clarksburg Hospital nearby for 3 weeks.
Oh, my.
They also obtained a statement from the mother of Eugene Lemon, the West Virginia National Guardsman, who said that at the approximate time of the crash, her house had been violently shaken and her radio signal had cut out for about 45 minutes. And finally, they obtained a report from the director of the local Board of Education in which he claimed that he had seen a flying saucer taking off at 6:30 a.m. on September 13th, the next day. basically the morning after the Flatwoods monster was sighted.
Hot diggity dog.
Yeah, so I mean, they gathered quite a bit of testimony from the people, the primary witnesses to the September 12th incident. Several of them reported suffering from similar symptoms to the woman's daughter, who, you know, a week prior who'd been in the hospital. You know, they reported similar symptoms that persisted for some time, and they claimed that it must be the result of having been exposed to, like, the weird, stinky mist.
Yeah.
That was emitted by the Flatwoods monster. Shoot. These symptoms included irritation of the nose and swelling of the throat. Eugene Lemon claimed to have suffered from vomiting and convulsions at night and had difficulties with his throat for several weeks afterward. A doctor who treated the witnesses reportedly described their symptoms as being similar to victims of mustard gas, though such symptoms are commonly found in sufferers of hysteria, quote unquote, which can be brought on by exposure to a traumatic or shocking event. So, you know, all of this happened. The investigators with Project Blue Book, you know, gathered all of this testimony, but in the end, their official conclusion was that the object seen in the sky that night was a meteor. As for the monster, investigators suggested it was simply a barn owl. Okie doke, then it's a barn owl. So that's you know, the Air Force thinks it's a barn owl. Okay, fine. And I mean, notably, Project Blue Book ultimately concluded there was nothing anomalous about any of the UFO incidents it investigated, and it investigated many UFO incidents around the country. And the project was terminated in December of 1969.
Oh, yes. Bring us to present day.
Yeah, I mean, that's basically, you know, that as far as the government is concerned, that's the end of it. That's the end of the Flatwoods monster.
Oh, yes.
Story.
The town of Flatwoods, the presence of this quote-unquote monster, they've seen considerable profit from it. Every single year, tourists come to Flatwoods to view the site. Even though it's located on private property, the property can be seen from the end of Depot Street. It's a railroad running straight through. You can visit the Flatwoods Monster Museum.
I would love to visit the Flatwoods Monster Museum. We have to go.
We have got so many good places.
We're just like gathering this list of places that we need to visit.
We've got a hot list, Cam. We do,
and we could certainly, you know, post some little bonus episodes and photos to our Instagram and kind of let people know what we find when we visit these spots. We've got to do it.
I would love for us to have our photo taken with the Flatwoods monster.
When the weather's better, because tonight it's really cold.
Oh, it's so cold. The toes
when the weather
are
improves,
frozen.
we need to make these trips and do some follow-up investigation.
Oh, we must. We will do that for sure. There's a 10-foot tall Flatwoods set of monster chairs made in the likeness of the creature. You can have your picture taken sitting in one of these.
These are pretty fun. I've seen photos of them. It's like, I mean, they're cute. They're sort of like more upright Adirondack chairs that are made to look like the descriptions of the monster. It's pretty cute. I mean, I could see families wanting to, you know, do these photos. It's cute.
Oh, I love it. Absolutely love it. In town, of course, they sell numerous items of memorabilia. They've got the little stuffed Flatwoods monster toys.
Yeah.
Ceramic lanterns.
The lantern is pretty interesting. I mean, that's sort of a different little, different knick-knack.
We've got to get a pair of those.
Yeah.
Adorn the homes.
And the fire department T-shirts look pretty cute, too.
Oh, they do.
They do.
This is just a wonderful way to gain tourism, and they will even Cam and I, we ran across the Braxton County website.
The Convention and Visitors Bureau will even send a monster, as in a person in a monster costume, to your event. Sadly, we could not get them to send anyone to our event, but we tried.
Oh,
we tried, y'all.
we
Just for
try?
you, we tried really hard to get a Flatwoods monster to visit. But it just didn't work out for us. I'm sorry.
I think it's kind of nasty up that way. We might try to rustle up
try
a
it again.
spring visit.
Yeah, maybe. We tried, guys. We tried for you.
We did. We love our fans. And delving into popular culture, there are about a dozen different places you can find the Flatwoods monster or the likeness.
It's so interesting too because I'm really, until we kind of did this investigation, I hadn't. I mean, I guess I kind of recognized like the image of the creature, but I didn't know really anything about it. But yet, it's kind of been in like all of these games and things like that I just like hadn't really noticed before, and so that's pretty interesting.
I was thinking the exact same thing. Nintendo, so in Amagon, the final boss bears a resemblance of Flatwoods monster. I very clearly remember that.
Yeah.
Stage 2 boss of the video game Space Harrier 2. In the anime series Sergeant Frog, an alien modeled after the Flatwoods monster appears in the episode, I love this, Fake It Till You Make It. And another favorite of mine, The Legend of Zelda, Majora's Mask.
Oh, that was a great game.
Oh, it was.
That was so fun. Yeah.
Oh, Cam, we've got to play together.
We should play. Yeah, we need to play that again.
We do.
But those creatures are pretty similar to the Flatwoods monster too.
They are. They refer to them as basically them invading Romani Ranch, bearing a striking resemblance to yours truly, our Flatwoods monster with the Ace of Spades head sheath, framing that face ever so lovely.
That strange face.
Yes. While they're obviously meant to be aliens, they're most likely believed to be ghosts or demons by the residents of the Zelda universe because, of course, they live in a fantasy world where the concept of life on other planets doesn't exist. Was it A Link in Time with the dark world and the light world? I'm thinking of that right now.
I think so. Yeah.
And then the Wii U game, The Wonderful 101.
Which I've never played that one, but it's pretty interesting.
Yeah, me either. That's one we'll have to try. The character Gimme.
Yeah.
Striking resemblance. The show Mountain Monsters on Destination America.
Okay, I've watched that before. Definitely.
Oh, it's good. Ames team goes to Braxton County to investigate a similar cryptid known as a shadow creature.
What is up with Braxton County? How many creatures does it have?
It's really many.
Yeah, the Braxton County home of the cryptids. So, I mean, hey, something to investigate for a future episode.
That's right. This is our the answer to our reptilian curiosities.
Oh,
this
wow, that's interesting.
Kind of touches on that same reptilian look. Maybe not quite that metallic structure around the waist, but
yeah, the weird armor skirt thing.
Yeah.
It's just again, we really need to get visuals going with this podcast so we can show people.
We do. We'll get a screen.
But don't worry, when we post this episode to our website, we will include the sketches of the Flatwoods monster because they're worth looking at.
They are indeed.
They still remind me of Daleks.
They do.
I can't escape it. They look like they remind me of Daleks, but with these weird cowly, pointy head things going on. It's just so strange.
They have to spice it up for us a little bit.
A little bit.
And I mean, the references continue, guys. In 3DS, Tomodachi Flatwoods Monster makes an appearance along with other cryptids in The Mystery Interior. The XBLA game Happy Wars, there's a weapon called Flatwoods Monster. Does it have acid spray?
Cool.
Does it smell funky? That's enough to get me. I mean, I'm like, you win, buddy.
You win.
I'm done.
I'm
out. Peace out. There's a song written by Argyle Goolsby called The Being, which was actually dedicated to
Interesting.
the Flatwoods Monster.
And most famously, the Flatwoods Monster makes an appearance in Fallout 76.
Shoo.
So yeah, I mean, this it's so funny because it's really a lesser known cryptid, but
Yeah.
it's still really kind of permeated pop culture, and that's pretty fun.
It's unreal. And I tell you, when you first showed me the picture, I said, oh,
It's like, what is that? What is this thing? It's so ridiculous.
truly. Oh.
But yeah, it's definitely been kind of a fun story to investigate, and one of the more modern cryptids that we've talked about, not one of these that has 100 years of folklore attached to it. It's pretty cool and tied into the whole UFO phenomenon. So it's pretty fun. I dig it. I'm into it.
You and me both.
We need to go
Kim.
visit that museum, Sarah.
We do. And I'm thrilled to see that there's Appalachian folklore tied into the whole UFO.
Well, we need to do our UFO episode. We need to
We do.
get our friend to come on the podcast with us and talk about some UFOs.
We're going to do that.
Yep.
Y'all, yes, any suggestions that our fans have about upcoming episodes, feel free to share. We love to talk about what we're going to dive into next.
Yeah,
We like to keep it interesting.
Yeah. So email us those show ideas at appalachianarcana@gmail.com. And be sure to visit our website at appalachianarcana.com and follow us on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter.
If you have a story you want to share with us, yes, appalachianarcana@gmail.com. Remember that one.
All
Write it
right.
down.
Write it down and send us your ideas. Thank you guys for coming out. Have a good night.